Undia sta Andrea tia Kambara si Andrea tiara. Welcome to exploring the wild, ancient, and cosmic worlds with Jax. Hello and good morning. Is it still morning? It is, I think it's about 10:30. Wow, happy daylight savings, Queensland and New South Wales. Whew. It has been quite a week. Please let me know when you're joining and say hi and how you're feeling today. It has definitely been one of the most challenging weeks. Would I say of the year? Perhaps. A lot of energy, a lot of stuff. This, I honestly did not expect this full moon, or whatever you want to call it, this phase to be so crazy. So this I am sharing with those of you because I did a post yesterday, a couple of days ago, around integrity and alignment of integrity, and I want to share this in layman's terms. This is for those of you that have been feeling this last few weeks, I'm going to say, and maybe even in the coming weeks, where there's a lot of shattering happening in your life. I'm just going to shut this door. All I can hear is traffic. That's better. So let me know if you can hear me. Actually, that is cool. That'd be a good start, Jax. And yeah, so this is for those of you that have either just some really dramatic changes, and maybe some of them haven't been ideal, or feel like they've not part of your plan, and feel like that it's actually been tough transitioning. Hello, Sam, beautiful woman. Nat, good to see you. I know I have had a week where it's just been full on hardcore ouch after ouch after ouch. Even yesterday, it just wouldn't stop. All of these opportunities, I would call them opportunities. They're never actually ever, I never see anything as a roadblock. I always see it as an opportunity to pivot, an opportunity to move, to dance, to flow according to what you're here to create. And some of the things aren't nice at all, especially when, hey Mary, good to see you. Christina, oh my God, all of my favorite people. I see them as lessons. Yeah, and you know what? It's really easy for us to go, oh, these are all opportunities to pivot. There are lessons, but they fucking hurt too, right? We cannot deny how painful shedding actually is. But again, this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity of mastery. It's an opportunity of pivoting. It's an opportunity to really see for yourself who you truly are, not the situation, not the other people, for you. So particularly, this week, what's been going on? I've just had some massive shifts happening, completely unexpected, completely. My inner child was fucking crying. And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry for swearing, but this is just, I'm just going to share out of sheer emotion of the actual truth of how I was feeling. This week has been absolute torment for my inner child, my inner child is me as a little girl, even me, who exists now. You know, we can't separate ourselves from our inner child. We are our inner child, but there's always elements of abandonment, betrayal, things that come up. So for me, particularly this week, has been a lot around betrayal and abandonment, and like in so many areas. It's not like just one situation. It goes from one situation to two situations to three situations, and it's just been like, why? And then I got a message from my ex-husband yesterday. Bless his soul. Probably the worst time to send this kind of message, but it was purely a request. And my lens that I was seeing the week through was already in defensive mode. But luckily I was like, I am not even going to respond because I don't want to react. Yeah, I thank God I have been through enough work to go, I don't want to react. I don't want to react. The thing is what we've got to understand. So right now, if there are so many of us, particularly right now as a collective, that are moving through this like shedding, friendships, relationships, jobs, careers, opportunities, there is something here for us as a bigger picture. There is something here. There's something that's alive right now in the field, in the vortex, that's causing the disruption for you to choose your transition, okay? It's not here to punish. We're not being punished. Remember that piece. We're never, ever, ever being punished. We're always, always, always being served what we're calling forth. And sometimes the next level of what we're calling forth needs a version of us that doesn't exist in this moment, which means that version of us needs to shed a few layers for us to be who that frequency, that the mastery of which needs to be alive to bring to life the next level of what we're calling forth. So for me, one of my biggest devotions this year is expanding my ability to lead, my capacity to lead with integrity, with authenticity, fluently. My team is, my tribe is getting bigger and bigger. How do this is me, and I'm just going to share what's in my heart or my mind, is how do I lead, but how do I support the tribe as we scale without losing myself to any sort of corruption, and corruption being, for me, the retracting, corruption being the losing my sight for shiny things, because that, you know, I've been doing enough work to not actually be distracted by that. But how do we scale without losing our integrity that keeps us anchored? So in this case, what this looks like for us, for me particularly, is literally cutting cords with people in my life. And it's never an intentional cutting cord. It just freaking happens, and it's an ugly thing. It's like, it can look like a hurtful situation, and it can look like something that was like, oh my God, I've been betrayed or abandoned, or whatever that looks like, right? But is that the case? No. Because whatever we're experiencing now, what you're experiencing now in your life is a micro taste of what you're prepared for, what your soul is prepared for in the macro realm, which means it's preparing you for the bigger mission. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling disconnected with yourself, it's calling you forward to release what is in your reality that's causing a lot of the overwhelmment. There's a lot of things that are in your reality. I love you, Tam. There are a lot of things. If you're stressed, if you're exhausted, this is purely an opportunity for you to go, okay, what is showing up for me now that no longer is going to serve my bigger vision? Your bigger vision never, ever, ever, ever stops. Just because you don't feel like you're on it, it doesn't mean you're not on the path. When you traject your intention of your vision once. When you traject, yeah, it's in the field. It never disappears. So the journey ahead is always a journey of aligning your pieces, who you are, the pieces in your life that are in alignment with the vision that was trajected when you first set that intention. So for me this week, the test has been how to pivot, but also how to not take things personally. Who still takes things personally? How do I, and I needed a cocoon for this. Thank you for my tribe, my Lightworker tribe who held space for me. I was able to share with them what was on my heart and say, yo, like, I'm not well. I'm exhausted and I'm hurt and I need space. So I was able to cocoon and be in this experience and be in and continue the mastery of the narrative of this is not personal. No one is wrong. No one is wrong. This is the next phase of mastery. No one is wrong. If you could imagine that every piece of the picture is in fact serving you more than you think it's punishing you, that is your next level of mastery. If you can see that a relationship dissolving or an opportunity dissolving is in fact serving you, that's your next phase of mastery. But it's not an easy thing to do. You have to give yourself an opportunity to be with it. Now, my reality was my body was hurting from the pain that I was feeling. Like I have this heaviness right in my heart. And the heaviness and what was in my mind initially was like, the questions that were in my mind was, why do I keep being hurt? Why can't I trust people? Why, this is the dialogue. But is that dialogue true? No, that dialogue is not true. And I shared this with a whole tribe the other day. I was just like, whatever the dialogue is there that is actually bringing up the past and causing past emotions and causing past reactions, it's not true. What is true? That I'm being served, that no one is wrong, that this is my next level of mastery of myself, of how I can be a leader with integrity because I asked for this. So I invite you, firstly, number one, to trust your body. We have a habit, a societal habit, to reject pain. In fact, we reject sensations that we've decided are painful, and we reject them. But in the rejecting of the sensations never go away. It's kind of like just dusting under the carpet. What if you could trust the sensations and know that your body, as the intelligent tool that it is, the conduit, the tool, the vessel, is actually doing what it needs to do with these emotions? All you need to do is really continue to nurture what's going on in here and here. So for me, the last few days has been a matter of literally gripping on for dear life, not this chair, but just generally just gripping on and just knowing and trusting that the heaviness in my heart, which is the rising of the discomfort, the sensation of discomfort, is going to go. It always does. When does it never, ever, ever disappear? But what we tend to do is we tend to use crutches. We drink, we smoke, we take drugs, we take medications because we've been so programmed to reject the sensations that we have called discomfort. What if in the in the embracing of the sensations as a transitional sensation, as opposed to a sensation to be rejected and suppressed? What if we embraced it as a transition, which causes excitement for the next, what's on the other side of the transition? Yes, yes, yes. Love, love, love. Rejecting sensations that are uncomfortable is a way of the past moving forward now. Yes, exactly. So what if this sensation that is that heaviness in your heart or in your solar plexus, or sometimes we get like headaches, what if it's actually serving us in transitioning through this? Yeah. And what if it was a time to actually nurture, to be with it, as opposed to rejecting it and trying to carry on with our day and try to be happy and try to appear? What if we were surrounded by family, friends, tribe, who we could say, yo, I'm not well, but I trust my body. I trust this transition. I trust my purpose. I trust my vision. I trust. So that's number one. Trusting, especially your body, especially the situation, as ugly as it is. And I will not separate myself from your reality and my reality, because it's ugly, it hurts. But what if it's always here to serve us into our next phase of ourselves? Number two, the stories in our head. What we don't want to do is project. Yeah. We have this incredibly potent ability to create stories. And then we have an incredibly potent ability to project them stories. Yeah, we've had it happen to us. Even now there are people that have stories about me that I know aren't true, but to them it's really true. And I have had stories of people that I know that aren't true, but there was a stage or phase where I thought it was true because they did this to me or they did that. The next opportunity is to really, really be aware of the stories we're creating. Really take responsibility of not projecting them. Because when we're trying to articulate the story, when we're hurting, when our body is transitioning and we're trying to project the story, we're only going to project more pain into the world, more suffering into the world, more suffering into the situation. This is why surrounding yourself with people you trust, that you can actually project your truth without altering the actual story to make anyone wrong, to actually project what's true, and for them to hold you and know that the loyalty in that circle will not leak your truth or your share or your release into the atmosphere, into other circles. Yeah, so I have a tribe of people who I can say, this is how I feel, this is the story that I have, and this is what I know isn't true. I'm able to share because it needs to come out of your body. The energy that you feel needs to come out in some way, but we tend to suppress it. But what if you could share it? And what if you could, even with my daughter yesterday, because yesterday was a really heavy day for me, this feeling was inside me. And thank God I have tribes who are like, we got you, sis. Like, we got you. I'm like, I need to rage. So yesterday, my partner and my daughter and I and my son, we got pillows out and we raged together, and we just raged. And because I needed to get this energy out. And raging is getting a pillow like this on the ground, and we like just banged it, and we put some music on, System of a Down, put a few System of a Down songs, like hardcore like music that could help us get some energy out of our bodies, and we just raged out onto the pillows. The kids thought it was fun. I thought it was medicinal. It was great. this is about ownership of what's going on with us, but also knowing that every time that we believe a story and a projection that's not true, we're giving permission for someone else to do that, to create a story about us. Whether it's now or eventually, a story will be created about us because we've created the story about someone else and allowed that projection to be what's true and to leak toxicity into the atmosphere. If we can manage our own ability to manage the ownership of our stories, our projections, and continue to transition into trust, therefore that is what ripples out into situations about us. Or also another thing is, if there are stories and projections about us that we know that's not our truth, we actually are able to handle it so much better. When I know that there are stories about me, or me being a witch, or all of these things, because they think, oh my god, she likes crystals and magic and she's a witch and whatever, I go, I love you, because I know I'm freaking Jax. I'm Jax. Yeah, that's it. No stories. I'm okay. But because I continue to practice this when the going gets tough. So I inspire you, when the going gets tough, when you're in these phases, when energy is so heavy and deep, knowing that it's transitioning, and your role is to embody your future self. Your future self, not your past self. Your past self who's reactive, your past self who is aggressive, your past self who is disconnected. Embody the future self, in which you're calling in the embodiment of, who is wise, who is calm, who is loving, compassionate, unconditionally loving. I said loving, but who's, we have these two options in every given moment. But I'm not going to take away from the pain in the middle, but in the pain in the middle is up to us to get to know yourself and trust yourself beyond all the stories. There's nothing wrong with you. If you're going through pain, there's nothing wrong with you. In fact, you're being served. Surround yourself with people who will remind you of this. You're being served. It feels good. I woke up this morning feeling so much better because of the cocooning, because of this practice. It's a practice, guys. This is a practice. It's not something that's going to happen like that. Every single time something challenging comes up in your life, it's always an opportunity to practice. To practice your integrity, to practice your authenticity, to practice your ability to call yourself forward, to practice your ability to embody your future self. It's an opportunity, because when everything is fine and well, you aren't able to actually dig deep into the well of your wisdom. It's only when things get tough. So know this as part of your training. Know this as part of your training here for your vision. If you retract into your old versions of yourself, you're only going to repeat old cycles. You're going to manifest old situations. You'll keep hitting ceilings. Every time you give yourself an opportunity to call forward the version of you that you're here to create or here to embody, your reality starts to shift with the mastery of this. This is truth. This is truth. Needed to hear this right now. Beautiful Kerry. Tap into your wisdom, sister. Tap into who you know you are. Tap into your future self. I feel like that feels good. That feels good. So is there anything else? No, I feel like that was the message on my heart. There was one more message I just quickly share. Someone asked me the other day, she's applying to enroll into the Lightworker Elite Tribe with us, and she said, but I don't feel like a Lightworker. I don't know anything about crystals, and I don't know anything about, all of these, she just started mentioning magic, and I was just like, pardon me, The light worker isn't, a light worker isn't, just because I have crystals doesn't mean I'm a light worker. It just means I like crystals. Just because I enjoy playing with pendulums doesn't mean I'm a light worker. It just means I enjoy playing with pendulums. I was only introduced to a yoni egg like a month and a half ago. Yeah, I didn't know what they were, and I wouldn't even like touch them before then. I don't know, you know, I enjoy sage because I enjoy sage. It's not because I'm a light worker. What a light worker is every single one of us. The light worker in us is the person who is able to hold space for someone and call them forward into their light, into their wisdom. This beautiful, beautiful woman who I was speaking to has worked in an industry where they housed women who were in danger. Yeah, she was working with an organization who would house women who was in danger in their families. The moments that she is sitting with a woman who is afraid, and she is pouring belief into her and wisdom and love and holding space for her, that is what light work is. That is what light work is. Light work isn't about the things, tattoos, piercings, image. Light work is having the willingness, yeah? Because we all have the ability. We all have the ability, but not all of us have the willingness, and that's okay because we all have different roles to play on this planet. But those of us that have the willingness to firstly continue to stay in alignment with balance, harmony, nature, and truth, and to therefore share this with others in times of need to guide them back to their wisdom. It's not even about being a Reiki. Just because you have Reiki, you do Reiki, doesn't mean you're a light worker. I have a Reiki certificate. Does that make me a light worker? No, it makes me a Reiki certificate holder. Just because you have an intuitive gift doesn't mean you're a light worker. It means you have an intuitive gift. The light worker is the momentum. The light worker is the verb. Light worker is the willingness to serve with your gift in accordance to balance, harmony, nature, love, compassion, to therefore show others their own light, their own wisdom. It's not about being on show. It's about being a willing conduit to show others to their wisdom, to their light, to their divine sources, to show them where all of the answers are, and to share love with them, to keep them safe in who they are. This is what light work is. Nothing else. We're all light workers, but the worker part is the willingness to actually do this in this lifetime, to do this in a lifetime. Yeah. And that could be, you could be a doctor, you could be anyone is, but no one can tell you you're a light worker. Only you get to own it. You get to go, no, I'm a light worker because that's what I'm willing to do. And you can be in any industry. Any. Light worker was a term I didn't resonate with for a long time until quite recently, but I now feel it in my core. We shine light into darkness and hold space for those who need us. That is all. Unique gifts are all unique. You are magic minus regardless of the extras. Exactly. That is the truth. We are all light workers. You don't have to have a channeling ability. You don't have to have, you don't have to have anything that's already outside of you. You just have to have the willingness to hold space, to love, to guide, to grow, to continue to be in balance and harmony with nature, God, source. That's it. So I hope this has been helpful today, and I'm really grateful to those of you that have stayed on to watch. And I hope it's been it will serve you in your, whatever you're in at the moment, whether you are in a mess, when you're coming out of a mess, where you're coming into a mess. Remember the wisdom of the mess. Remember the wisdom of the transition. Remember the wisdom of you. Remember the wisdom of your vision. Remember what you're here to call forward, and remember the wisdom of the opportunity, not the punishment. And it gets to be okay. It gets to be okay. If you start losing people in your life, that gets to be okay. It gets to be a gratitude rather than a, no one's wrong. It's just what's happening because you're asking for the next phase of your evolution, and some people don't fit in that anymore. That's all. And are they wrong? No, they're definitely not wrong, because you're not fitting in theirs anymore. Does that make sense? We're just Lego pieces, and some don't fit anymore. We see you, all of you, where you are right now. Oh, I love you, Cara. All right, my beauties, have the most beautiful day, and please take advantage of your glorious life. And I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm going to get into, I feel like I'm back in action now after my cocooning. I'm back. I love you all, and I will see you all soon.